Hey everyone, and welcome back to the It's a Mind Game podcast. My name is Jade, and I'm a personal trainer and mindset coach specializing in female health. As many of you know, I had my own experience with HA that went on for 6 years plus, and I had my fair share of eating disorders, whether it be anorexia, bulimia, abusive purging, all of the things. I have always loved training. I still love training, but my attitude and perspective towards training has completely changed over the years. And thankfully so, because now I find myself in a position where I went from feeling as though I needed to be doing everything all the time at max intensity in order to look and feel the way I wanted to. And over the years, I have learned that I just don't need to be doing all those things. And I don't need to be smashing myself. And I don't need to be feeling exhausted all the time. And I don't need to be worried about failure or losing my gains or weight gain or anything that used to terrify me. And I don't know, it's really interesting. As you would know, I haven't been doing a lot of podcasts lately. And while the easy answer for that is I've been pretty time poor, there's an overarching theme that is I had this idea for this year to really level up the podcast and make it more educational and to be sharing more details on how the brain works and why it works and how to make the changes and how to adapt your training and do all those things. And I guess make it in a more formal style. But as I've come to realize is that the women that I speak to, whether it be through consults or group sessions or the ones who send through emails and DMs, it's actually not all the, I guess, sciencey based stuff that helps you. It's actually the connection of lived experiences and how I've helped others. So there will be more podcasts coming up because I've decided to push aside what I thought would be best because it seems like that actually spooks me. I've been so pulled away from recording podcasts, which is ridiculous because they're like one of my favorite things to do. Like I look forward to them all the time, but I wasn't actually taking that action step to do it. And I think there was just a misalignment. So either way, if you have some feedback or ideas on that, I'd love to know what you think, whether you just want to hear what comes out of my brain, or if you'd like a more structured approach to helping you through your HA or ED recovery, or just your path to a healthy, fit, strong, lean body that you are proud of. Today, I wanted to make a focus on when you're in HA recovery and the point at where you feel like you are doing absolutely everything and yet your period still hasn't arrived. It is no doubt the most frustrating part of HA recovery when you literally feel as though there is no stone left unturned. And what I mean by that is you can wholeheartedly say that you are eating adequately, you are resting adequately. If you are training, that you are training to complement your HA recovery. Everything is in line. It's literally just a matter of time of your brain recognizing that you're doing all of these things, right? If you're not quite in that space, that's okay. It just means you need to identify what is left to be worked on and start chipping away at that because there's no perfect process. If that's one thing we have learnt throughout all the months, all the years, is that everyone's HA recovery looks different. Everyone's cycles look different. Everyone's food, exercise is different. Okay. And that doesn't make it complicated. It just means that you need to learn what works for you. And I'll go through that in some following episodes on how to develop your training so that it complements you versus you trying to do what everybody else does and just chasing your tail. But when it comes to the HA recovery journey and feeling like you have done everything and now your body isn't paying you back, here's how you need to see it. If you're in a completely abusive relationship with your partner, right? They woke you up early when you needed more sleep. They withdrew food from you when you were hungry. They told you you weren't deserving of food. Perhaps they made you run 10K when you're exhausted. They made you train twice a day. They made you think awful things about yourself. They made you feel like you were never good enough. They made you feel like no matter what you did, it still wasn't enough. They made you feel like you never deserved rest. They made you feel like your only good quality was how you looked or how you performed. It's pretty easy to say this isn't a loving relationship. Now, if we could replace the human relationship with our relationship with our bodies going through HA, there's a lot of similarities we can draw upon here. So we hold back food when we know we need more. Perhaps we restrict different food groups even though we know we need them. We overtrain instead of rest. We always choose the most difficult, challenging path with training versus giving ourselves a deload. We wake up early, even if we went to bed late, just so we can get the training done. Perhaps our self-talk is horrible. Unless you are out training or dieting, you're lazy, you've got no goals, you've got no purpose. Perhaps you feel like if you are not upholding this fit identity, then you have absolutely no value to offer anybody. It's pretty easy to say that that's how we've been, right? They're the choices and decisions and the thoughts that have taken us to this place where we have lost our period. We've lost our love for fitness and it's become an addiction to fitness or a compulsion. Perhaps we've loved enjoying food freely, right? It's now either a chore or it's something that we do so mechanically and we've lost all form of emotion towards it. Now, if we go back to the relationship, right, the partner that's treating us horribly, if that partner was to come in one morning holding a plate, breakfast cooked, you've got eggs on toast with avocado, you've got a fruit platter, everything's amazing. And he runs in and says, I love you so much. I hope you enjoy breakfast. You are going to get the creeps. It is going to be like, what the hell is going on? Do I need to call the police? This is weird, right? You're not going to instantly go, oh my God, what an amazing lover. I love him so much. You're going to be really suspicious, right? Let's say you manage to eat the breakfast, you're still really confused, it's all very weird. And then at lunchtime, all of a sudden you can smell food cooking. You can hear him in the kitchen cooking another meal. Next thing you know, oh, hey, honey, do you want some lunch? I've just cooked us some pasta, right? And you're sitting there on your laptop, you're working away. You're like, yeah, okay, I'll have some pasta. But why is he feeding me pasta? Why is he cooking me lunch? I mean, normally we skip lunch. Or if we do have lunch, we absolutely do not eat pasta. It's loaded with carbohydrates. That's crazy. All of a sudden, dinner comes around. Hey, honey, do you want to go out for dinner? Let's go have something really delicious or have someone cook for us, right? And then we'll just come home, relax, have a cuddle on the couch. What the hell is going on? If this was happening in real life, you wouldn't be having a day of, oh my gosh, this is the best relationship ever. You would be so suspicious. What is going on? This is not routine. This is not what I'm familiar with. This is not what I know. And even though, don't get me wrong, this treatment is absolutely incredible. Maybe it's what I've always wanted. No, I don't like it. It makes me question everything. It makes me go against everything that I know. Now, at this point in time, you're actually looking for the partner to make a mistake because then it would feel like the relationship that you know and you'd feel safe again. At this problem in time, you're feeling really tense because it just makes no sense what he's doing. Now, if he was to repeat these behaviors for a week, perhaps you start becoming more open to what's going on. Maybe he's had an epiphany, he's had a midlife crisis, and you realize how cruel he has been to me and he's trying to be nice. And you'd be a little bit more open to it. And maybe in a month's time, you're becoming friends with this idea that maybe he is a really loving partner and he does care about you and say nice things about you and does want to care for you. And then perhaps in 6 months' time, you've actually made peace with it and you can recognize that this is the person that he is and that this is the relationship that you're in and it is something that you can trust, right? And perhaps from there it leads on to you getting engaged, getting married, having babies, all those wonderful things. Now, when we draw parallels to our HA recovery, it is something similar. We go through some pretty difficult times to change our behaviors, to change our nutrition, to change our training, to learn how to rest, to accept body changes, to change our self-talk, affirmations, mantras. We're listening to podcasts, we're reading books, we're learning about our physiology, our biology. It's a wild time. Just like the relationship, if you care and nurture and show your body so much love for one day, it's not going to go, oh my gosh, she loves me so much, I'm going to let her hormones shine. Right? Your body's going to be suspicious. It's going to want to be treated that way. Absolutely. But it's not going to quickly accept that this is the new normal. It wants to see it happen consistently. And that's what we need to be thinking about throughout our HO recovery is it's not so much about, hey, I've looked after you, you owe me now, give me a period. It's like, okay, what do I need to do to earn your trust? What do I need to do so that you know that I'm going to care for you from now on and I'm not going to go back to those other ways? This isn't a trick. You're not trying to con me into something else. You're not going to treat me like a queen and then suddenly pull everything back and treat me like a pauper, right? And I know these things sound weird or maybe even aggressive, but it's not that unrecognizable when you think about how we've treated ourselves in the past versus the changes that we're making now and why there's a delay between the two. So when you're feeling frustrated throughout your HA recovery and why isn't my body doing this for me yet? I want you to think about it as an abusive relationship and go, well, would I just instantly trust my partner after a couple of days of treating me well, after a couple of weeks, after a couple of months? Or would I need to see more? And I think most of us would be saying, yeah, I definitely need to see more. So if there's anything you can take away from this episode today, is that rather than spending each day thinking, when is my body going to pay me back? Instead, collecting the days that you've been good to your body, collecting the days that you've been kind to your mind, collecting the days that you've been able to tune in to what you need, not what the rules are. And don't get me wrong, there is a time and a place for discipline and training routines and nutrition flexibility, whether it be gaining weight, losing weight, all those things. But right now, your focus is, how can I prove to my body I love and care for it? And how many days can I do that in a row so I can keep proving to it that I'm here and that's my priority and I'm not going to give up? Simply making that shift can change everything because you go from feeling like everything's being taken away from you to, I actually have power over this and I can earn this trust back, and I will, right? Because it's one thing that women who have had HA have got, we're very goal orientated. Like, it's always referred to this A-type personality, and it's like, well, use your A-type personality for you. Create plans on what you need to do for it to be a successful day. Create plans on, a framework for what breakfast, lunch, and dinner should look like so that you're getting all the nutrients that you need. Create a framework for what your training should look like so that you can keep training and recover your cycle. Create a framework for the thoughts you want to have that facilitate a loving relationship with you and your body and your mind. Right? Your A-type personality isn't keeping you stuck. The idea that it is what keeps you stuck. I want you to think about the relationship and how perhaps negatively you've treated your body in the past. And I say this with no judgment whatsoever, because a lot of the time when we've made these decisions that have disrupted our health, they're very innocent. We never set out to do this. We never set out one day, I'm going to achieve an eating disorder. I'm going to lose my period. That's all part of the plan. It was never like that. It was always, I want to get a little bit leaner. I want to see how strong I can get. I want to run a triathlon. I want to eat better quality foods. It was always well intentioned. And we accidentally got misled in different directions, whether it be from traumas, whether it be from misinformation, whether it be from guidance from people who maybe didn't know much, even though they're well intentioned, they didn't share the appropriate information for you. Or maybe you had all the right information, but you layered one piece on top of another piece on top of another piece, and those three things all together actually was a pretty bad concoction for what our body wants. All right. But either way, they were all choices made to try and help you feel better, look better, train better, be better. So please, when you're looking back, don't give it judgment. Just recognize that you're always making the best decisions you could with what you had available. That's also another question you could ask yourself right now is, am I making the best decisions with what I have available? No doubt you've been researching and Googling and podcasting and finding out all these new things, but what are you actually doing with the information? Are you making the best decisions that you can with what you've learned? I'm going to leave it there for today. I would love to hear your feedback if you've enjoyed this episode today. And if you want to reach out, I'll leave my Instagram below as well as my email address. And I've also got a PDF available on cycle syncing if you want to check that out. In the meantime, I hope you are having the most fabulous day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.